Good afternoon, race fans, and welcome to beautiful sunny Talladega, Alabama, where we are set to go racing for some 94 laps here in Sim. I am your host, Al Nixon, with Kenny Powell working the flips behind the scenes, and boy, is this going to be something spectacular. This is not a race, this is Talladega. Track length being the longest track on the series at 2.65 miles. The air temp today is coming in at 79 degrees with a track temp of 106. The wind's going to be out of the northwest at 7.41 miles per hour, and it is partly cloudy. Perfect race conditions for what I believe is set to be nothing but a beautiful slugfest. So, as we are getting ready to go, I apologize that due to technical difficulties, we will not be presenting the national anthem for you tonight, but instead we will go ahead and get on with our starting order. On the pole today, the 5 car Greg Wachinski. Alongside him is that 62 car Chris Severa. Next. Yeah. The lights are off on the pace car, which does indicate that we will be going green flag racing here momentarily. Sorry about that. I was having a little bit of technical difficulties. Like I said, hope everybody's having a great Saturday afternoon as we get set to go racing here. This race is set for 3 stages, and that's going to be interesting because it's gonna be a little bit of give and take as drivers going to have to try to navigate around those stages to get not only those stage points but also try to put themselves in positions to win. 3 stages. The first stage is going to be at 20, second stage at 40, and then that third stage is going to be the remaining of those laps. Looks like the fuel window is going to be 28 laps, so we should be poised to get ourselves some green flag pit stops once we get into that third and final stage. Lights are off on the pace car as he leads the field here, coming on to the front stretch. He's going to be ducking down, and we'll see if our drivers select to stack the field up or if they're going to get an early run. Greg Wachinski sitting on the pole, he will have that start. The starting line for Talladega was moved forward some years ago, which actually rearranges everything. So as cars are coming to that start-finish line, we are getting ready to go racing here in Talladega.
Green.
And the green flag flies. Greg Wachinski wasting no time in getting that number 5 car lined up there, as he is going to go ahead and take that lead and come on down in to turn 1. Drivers are 2 by 2 at this point. trying to get those cars up to that operating speed. It's going to take about a full lap and a half or so before we actually get these cars up to that speed. Drivers side by side, and nobody really wanting actually to take it 3 wide. We're just going to stay 2 wide here as the time being. Nose to tail coming around as we get ready to put this first lap in the books. That outside line just having a little bit of an advantage there, with Chris Severa actually taking the lead on that top side. Now he is going to think better about it. Al Keselowski now coming down on the inside of Chris Severa. Severa now up onto the top side. These two teammates are running side by side now as we get the first lap in the books. Al Keselowski. Hey, it's great to have you up here, ladies and gentlemen. This is Mr. Kenny Powell here. He's going to be joining Big Al up here in the booth. So, Kenny, as you're joining us, will be our first time together. What are you actually expecting to see here tonight as Al Keselowski continues to lead this field here coming around for Liette turn 3, lap 3? Yeah. Yeah, it's good to see those D&G guys actually getting back together, running nose to tail. No surprise, though, that everybody's going to try to kind of get back in line here as we are still early in this thing, Kenny. So as this thing does go on, looks like those D&G cars are going to be the team to beat. But do you have any predictions or favorites to win tonight's competition? That is awesome as we are coming around to lap 5. Looks like we've got a little bit of separation in the pack. That second pack actually falling back a little bit off the pace. When we were here last time, it was interesting to see if the cars were actually able to stay in a straight line. That was a big difference as far as the speed. So it's going to be interesting to see here tonight if the drivers are going to actually try to make that high line work. I'm not sure what happened on the Thursday night's race. But as of right now, we are still nose to tail with those G&G cars running top of 1, 2, and 3, with Keselowski leading the way with Chris Severa in second and Chris D. Johnson being in third place. Looks like we got a little bit of separation in the pack now as we're going to have some guys getting ready to try to make that top line work. This group of individuals is going to be led. Looks like we got Clean up there. Can you tell who else is up there, Kenny? Yeah, it's actually good to see Pattingale running up front. Roberts run he's not consistently been up front. He's had a little bit of bad luck, but definitely good to see him up front, though. Even though it is early, that is still awesome. Looks like Severa's got the nose of that 62 car going to be pushing right there on the inside of Keselowski. So good to see these two guys actually working together here, Kenny, because they actually had a little bit of a skirmish, it looks like, a couple of races ago. Yeah, definitely. This is a racetrack where you got the pusher and you got the pushy. Well, you have to be the pushy and the pusher. Do you have a preference there, Kenny? Do you like to be the pusher or do you like to be pushed? Well, definitely appreciate having you up here in the booth as I'm trying to get my camera angles lined up. But this is exactly what we're expecting here now. That top line actually formulating a little better here, as these drivers are going to try to see if they can actually get that top line to stick. Now, historically, that top line at Talladega can be the fastest line. These cars are lending themselves a little bit to side drafting, but yet you'll see the drivers are keeping a little bit of distance between each other on the sides, which is actually pretty awesome. Yeah, it's good to see Chris D. Johnson back on the track. He hadn't actually been with us for a little bit, so here he is, and I'm sure he is not going to waste any time to try to figure out if he can get that 5-0 call where it needs to go. We are just all coming up to halfway through this first stage, and it has been a green flag racing all the way thus far. There are two discernible packs. We've got the lead pack, and then we've got a pack that's just a little bit further there. That second pack is actually being led by Josh Schaffner. Now, these guys who probably put themselves back there for either one or two reasons, Kenny. Either they lost the draft or they're just kind of getting themselves set up to stay, quote unquote, out of trouble there. Everybody's trying to avoid that big one. Did you guys actually have a big one on Thursday? Yeah, sometimes that actually is the better move, Kenny, just in case something were to happen up front. But like we said, we are still green flag racing here, like we're halfway through this first stage. This race is being led pretty much by Al Keselowski the majority of the way. Looks like he's got his G&G teammates tucked in right behind him, and that's just doing exactly what it needs to do. There's no need to risk it at this point. It's because there's no biscuit to have. Still having about a good at least 5 laps, I would say, before it's time to actually launch an attack there for the end of that first stage. Do you think we're going to see an attack there being made at the end of that first stage? Maybe from somebody later in the pack, deeper in the field? What are your thoughts on that? Sure. Yeah, looks like we had Clayton Hoffman drop off the track there just a little bit. But yeah, it's still time. It's they're gonna have to get situated. It looks like right now everybody's kind of jockeying, changing those positions up a little bit. Drivers apparently not liking where they were running at in the pack. So as this thing does kind of start to mellow out a little bit, if that will be the word that we're looking for, it will be interesting to see how this plays out. Now, This is pack racing. It's going to be pack racing all the way, and that's what we should expect all the way through the first two stages. And drivers are going to want to hope that they can actually keep their dance partners intact, if you will, because sometimes you hit your wagon to another guy and he wrecks out though. So been really good so far that everything is just kind of green flagging it, if you will, Kenny. Well, I don't know, Kenny. It's still early, and then as we do get to go later in this stage, we're going to see a lot more side by side racing. And
Caution.
as these guys
Save.
get to be side
Save.
by side,
Save.
you know,
Close your car.
and caution is out. Caution is out. Looks like Al Keselowski is on pit road. We're going to have to rewind that and see exactly what actually took place. Looks like we were. Yep, looks like he got just a little bit off center there. And that sent Al along for a ride, and now he's on pit road. But the fortunate thing is, hopefully, he'll be able to get that car repaired and get back out here online with us. So, Kenny, as the caution does fly, I think we should go ahead and step away and take a word from our sponsors.
There are moments that surprise and delight the mind and the senses. Introducing Sound Art, the world's first truly customizable, concealed, flat panel art speaker system. A revolutionary combination of incredible sound delivered from your most meaningful pictures. When art and technology intersect, there is a seamless blend of creativity and function.
Come alive in the streetlight, pulling at the stars in the moonlight. Every time I feel you close.
With Sound Art, anyone can print their own artwork or pick from numerous licensed artwork that we have. The possibilities are limitless. Enjoy beautiful and amazing sound throughout your home. The entire surface of your artwork generates incredibly robust sound. Your art never sounded so good.
I used to have to go in to the auto parts store. Pay too much, never find quite what I'm looking for. Now I just go online to Rock Auto and see all the parts my car will ever need. Lower prices, more parts, more brands. It's so easy to find the right parts fast. All the parts your car will ever need. Rock Auto. All the parts your car will ever need. RockAuto.com.
Butt Kicker. Feel what you've been missing. Get yours today at thebuttkicker.com and be sure to use our 20% discount promo code ISCA20.
And welcome back, race fans. We are under caution for the first time here tonight as a little incidental contact between teammates actually sent the 88 Speedway Angels car of Al Koslowski into that inside wall. So, luckily, he got that car repaired and can find his way back onto the racing surface. He is still on pit row right now, getting some repairs done. But that is actually going to make it a little bit interesting for us as we get ready to come to the end of stage one. A lot of drivers took advantage of the opportunity to come on down on pit road to get themselves some fresh set of Goodyear tires as well as some Sunoco racing fuel. We are coming back here. Looks like we will be going green with two to go. As the lights are on the pace car, are off on the pace car, which indicates that we shall be getting ready to get this thing back to green flag racing. Our race leader is going to be Greg Wachinski, and he will be electing to start from the inside. He's going to have Chris Johnson lining up beside him on the outside. Chris Rivera is going to be behind him on the inside in that third place position, with Eric Kling lining up to the outside in that fourth place position. The interesting thing about this is going to be our first restart here under since we started racing. So if we what I'm looking to see is when is Wachinski gonna take off and lead? Is he gonna try to stack the field up to prevent guys from getting a late run on him, or is he gonna try to actually take advantage of the situation and get an early launch himself? Only time will tell. Yeah, field definitely not tightened up just yet, Kenny. There's still a little slack in there, but they're gonna get it tight here, and we are getting ready to go. Green flag racing once again. Greg Wachinski now leads the field down the backstretch as he is getting ready for that green flag. And he launches just a little bit early. Wachinski down, getting that launch that he wants. Pulls away from even second place from his pusher there, which would have been Severa, which is going to leave him out there to be a sitting duck, Kenny. So now he's going to go. He's going to try to go. Oh, he thought better about going up the block high. yeah, Wachinski actually thought about actually jumping up there to try to actually stop that run, but Johnson wasn't having any of it. So now Johnson and Kling on that high side, just not being able to get hooked up yet. But Severa now tucking in right behind Wachinski, and looks like he's going to go ahead and push that number 5 Dupont Chevy to the lead. Yep, 2 packs and 2 laps to go as the pits will be closed now as we are coming up to the end of stage 1. Just going to see if Wachinski's going to have enough to keep that lead right now that he's got on the Severa. And if Severa is going to commit to actually pushing for him, as Olsen is now finding himself up into that third place position, which means if things stay like they are right now, he would be the benefactor of some much needed stage points. That leading 5 car, that top 5 cars right there, Kenny, actually knows the tail, but it's going to be the tail once we come around with 1 to go. You know, at this point, I would do it. I mean, I'd say you've got nothing to lose. Go out there, get out there, see if you can make that outside line. He's going to. Yeah, I don't know if it was a little too late though to get that outside line organized, but Severa actually got that nose buried right into that 5 car, and I think he is committed to try to push him around for the stage win. Yeah, that outside line just seemingly stalled. Kenny would know where to go, but not giving up on it. They're not yet falling back in line, but looks like that is going to be the end of stage one. Now Chris Rivera coming around to the outside, making his move, and Chris Rivera will become that stage one winner. How about a photo finish for stage one in the books? Congratulations. I think Chris Severa is our unofficial stage one winner with Greg Wachinski. Looks like he's got that second place position. Paul Ocean going to be in third with Mr. Jacobs in fourth. Chris Johnson fifth. Josh Schaffner in sixth. Andrew Layton in seventh. Eric Kling eighth. Kenny Hoffman in ninth, and Ryan Strunk rounds out your top 10 point span positions. With that said, we're going to go ahead and step away a little bit here as cars are going to be making their way back around to elect to pit or not pit. All right, that will be the question. We will be right back.
There are moments that surprise and delight the mind and the senses. Introducing Sound Art, the world's first truly customizable, concealed, flat panel art speaker system. A revolutionary combination of incredible sound delivered from your most meaningful pictures. When art and technology intersect, there is a seamless blend of creativity and function.
Come alive in the streetlight, pulling at the stars in the moonlight. Every time I feel you close.
With Sound Art, anyone can print their own artwork or pick from numerous licensed artwork that we have. The possibilities are limitless. Enjoy beautiful and amazing sound throughout your home. The entire surface of your artwork generates incredibly robust sound. Your art never sounded so good.
Well, welcome back, race fans, as our lead pack is now coming down to pit road. It looks like it's going to be quite a bit of takers to come on back down to pit road, which, not really surprising at this stage in the game. I think we're going to try to dial up our stage one winner, Chris Severa. So, Kenny, what? Yeah, we got some cars though that elected to stay out. But Kenny, what are your thoughts here after we got stage one in the books? We had one caution. Was that about where you expected it to be? Any surprise? Anything surprising happen out of there? Hey, speaking of that, we got yeah. Well, speaking of that, we got Chris Severa, our stage one winner. Chris Severa, this is Big Al up in the booth. You got me? Chris Severa, this is Big Al up in the booth. You got me?
Hello.
Hey, congratulations there on that stage one win. Uh, what happened there with your teammate?
Yeah, that was unfortunate. We had I saw the high line moving the lap before, and then our third place car, guy behind me, jumped up. So me and Al were hooked up. So I figured, okay, well, let us get some space if we're going to start making moves. Maybe bring that bottom line back to us. So I was going to push them all the way out through 3 and 4, and then unfortunately with extra heat in the tires that had built up, I got a little loose going through 4. I got a little underneath of him. He came up just a little bit, and it was just enough to get the nose underneath of him. But I've had he, it sucks. It's the best car I was out here pushing wise for me at least. So I got to try and find a new dancing partner now.
Yeah, that's a very unfortunate turn of events, but it looks like you were actually able to spin that negative into a positive and get back up to the front and claim that stage 1 victory. Anything that you've seen going on out here tonight that maybe surprised you at this point, or is everything just kind of status quo?
At least like when it comes to the pushing, it's really kind of random, the kind of like actual efficiency that you get from it. So that kind of sucks. But and another way you can twist it, it's kind of good because then you might end up working with somebody who you may not have ended up working with. So we don't really know how well it's going to go. We're just going to play one lap at a time, I guess.
Well, Roger that. I'm going to let you get back to work. Before we let you go, to anybody you want to give a shout out to?
G&G, EPI, Tucson Sound Art for sponsoring us. You guys, as always, for putting on a great show. Yeah, thanks, guys.
Well, Roger that. Good luck to you, Mr. Severa.
Appreciate it.
And with that, the lights are off on the pace car, and we should be resuming a green flag racing here momentarily. So, stage 1 in the books. Exciting 20 laps or so. 1 caution. Now we're at stage 2. Hopefully, everybody's got that fuel data that they need, and I think this is gonna be another exciting stage there, Kenny. What are your thoughts? Yeah, a lot of guys that are up front now actually pitted during that caution. So now it looks like we're going to have Clayton Hoffman actually lining up as our race leader. He too is going to elect to take and start on that inside. Ryan Stroh's going to be on the outside with Frank Flores and a Robert Pattengale coming up and bringing up that second row. So we got some guys up front that we hadn't seen before. Pace car's going to go ahead and exit stage left, and with that, we will be waiting on that 92 to pick up the green flag. Clayton Hoffman wasting no time to get that 92 Reaper Toyota rolling, leaving Frank Flores a little bit asleep back there. But Flores is going to he's going to have to try to figure it out. That outside line now coming down on the inside. Severa, though, electing to pop up and stick around on the outside. He's going to try to give that high line a run there, Kenny. I think he's going to try to find his way up front with that. But just as the case has been all night, looks like he's just not going to get the grip that he needs to make that go. Well, Chris Rivera definitely looks like he's going to be on that outside. Got a couple teammates with him, try to see if they can make anything happen on that high line. But so far, Kenny, it's just not doing. That high line is just not going, and that is just so funny because in the trucks and the Xfinity cars, it seems like the high line's been the fast line. I don't know. You think maybe we're going to have to try it 3 wide at some point to get it efficient? Well, definitely, and this is what you get when you get super speedway racing. So, like you said, looks like we have fallen into two discernible groups already. This first group actually having a high line and a low line. Wachinski now up there on that high line. He's going to be in front of his G&G teammate, trying to see if they can't get a push to get those G&G cars back up front. But that 92 car, Clayton Hoffman, has been holding firm with that 77 car, pushing him all the way, determined almost to try to keep him out front. So a little bit of a oddity there, seeing these two working together like this. But I mean, working together against the G&G guys on that low line. But yeah, it's shaping up to be a great race there, Kenny. and push him away push him away out front. He did whatever Severa has working when he comes off. It looks like turn two. He's really getting that slingshot effect, and he did the same thing to Keselowski, and it allowed him and Keselowski to actually put a little bit of a gap between them in the field. Same thing here, is they were actually able to get both tails of those cars around that 92 car of Clayton Hoffman, and I'm pretty sure he didn't really see that coming like that as fast as it did. Now,
Hi guys. Well, now that I'm getting to watch it, it's unfortunate I get to watch it instead of being in it. Had a mishap there, a little bit of bumper. These bumpers don't line up like they should, and I'm not mad at anybody for that. I had one hell of a hot ride tonight, and I was looking forward to a victory, but I just get to cheer on my teammates now.
yeah, congratulations on that Thursday night victory that you were actually able to bring home for that G&G team. But looks like Chris Severa actually has that Wachinski, those two G&G cars right out front now. Were you surprised how fast and how much of a run you guys are actually able to get coming off of those turns?
Man, we were able to turn 200 miles an hour, and this has been the first time all week that I've seen 200 miles an hour out of these cars. I mean, Severa's got one hell of a fast hot rod underneath him there, and he's in practice. I mean, he was on my bumper nonstop and never spun me. But I guess his cars get a little bit soft-tired at the long run there, and they have a little wobbly problem, and that's what caused the problem between me and him.
Well, Severa now looking like he's found himself a new dance partner in that number 5 car, Greg Wachinski. These two are seemingly going to be working together here as Clayton Hoffman trying to figure out if he's going to be able to try to make a move on the outside. With 10 to go in this stage, I think he thought better of it, and he's just going to stay behind Severa as of right now. Eric Kling doing the same. Interesting to note, though, that second pack is slipping further and further behind the lead pack, and I don't know if that's something that we're going to see here going on into that third stage, or if these guys are, setting themselves back, or if they're just being set up that way.
Well, I bet you see Clayton's going to stick his nose out there. I'll watch that. And Ryan's going to stick right behind him. It's going to be some side-by-side battling pretty soon here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was going to note that Schaffner actually was losing the tail end of that lead pack a little bit, and Schaffner was in the tail end of the lead pack there up until that first caution came out where we lost Keselowski. So I'm not sure if that's a byproduct of just the line that he's running, or if it's by design, but I'm sure we will figure that out as this racing continues. That second pack now going to pick him up, and he should be able to slip right back up into the back there behind Mr. Adamson and get on the tail end of that line. Really surprised, though, that this has been single file racing for as long as it has. I understand it's still early in stage 2. We're just over halfway in stage 2, but at some point, though, drivers are going to have to try to make that high line work. You guys agree?
Yeah, they'll probably do that more close to the. We've got about 5 or 6 more laps before they start getting racy. You really don't want to press your luck because you don't know who's going to dance with you and who's going to stick you out to dry. So everybody just kind of trying to use a method to their madness here and just wait it out. You'll see some action going on here, probably in about 5 laps.
And just like that, Schaffner is actually able to button up into the back of that second pack there that he has. But that second pack has got to be pretty disheartening watching that lead pack just pull away from you like that, and not really anything you could do at this point except for either wait on a caution, whether that be to end the stage or whether it be a premature one due to somebody else's misfortune. But Chris Severa and Wachinski just doing exactly what they need to do, just staying in line and just driving the track. Everybody is nose to tail. What can we say?
I'm really glad to see Pattengale up at this pack here. I think he's got a pretty good car tonight.
Yeah, it's always great to see Mr. Pattengale and others, get to come up into the top 5 because some of these guys are in the back a lot, and that just speaks to the volume of competition that we have. We don't really get to say their names a lot. So, yeah, way to go, Mr. Pattengale, as he finds himself tucked into that 5th place position and potentially going to be another run to get some more valuable stage points again.
Oh, he wants to go to the front. He's trying to find a dancing partner. He keeps peeking out high, see if anybody's going to grab a hold with him. But you're probably going to see and then we'll see Clayton Hoffman, Ryan Strunk, and Robert Pattengale. Oh,
Greg Wachinski into the wall. He's going to come back into the field, and he's going to bump uglies with the 64 car. That right there was just unfortunate, but caution does not fly. We are still clean and green. Severa just getting a little bit too much of a run and put the nose of that 62 car right there on the outside of Wachinski. Got him losing into the outside wall. Severa 0 for 2 on teammates and dance partners tonight. He's going to have to settle down or people are not going to want to run with him. I'm just kidding. It was just a racing incident, but we are still rolling green, guys, and that is going to be unfortunate for some guys. But the good news is we have a stage caution coming here within 5, so everybody should be able to get it worked out. We will see if Mr. Wachinski is actually able to maintain his speed and stay on the lead lap, or if he's going to end up having to go down pit road. But right now, Severa is in the lead, and he has that 77 car of Ryan Strunk now tucked in right behind him with Clayton Hoffman sitting there waiting to pounce in that 3rd place position.
Well, Al, if you'll notice, that's about the same amount of laps on those tires as when Chris had got a little wobbly on behind me and got into me. So that probably has something to do with the tires heating up on him.
Yeah, possibly that same exact scenario, but that's not going to make Severa feel any better. So now here's where it gets interesting. We are getting ready to come to 2 to go, which is going to close pit road. And now there's 4 cars that are in this lead pack. And that's going to make it a little bit more tricky to try to get that side draft or to even try to make that go. Now, Strunk actually having the nose of his car buried right up to Severa, and we're going to see if he's going to commit to him or maybe make a late stage chase to get to the outside.
Well, he better make that decision really quick because Hoffman is looking like he's growing more and more impatient. He wants to go around.
Yeah, and Pattengale's definitely going to have to close that gap too if he's going to try to actually take advantage of some of the good fortunes. It's going to be interesting to see who does go high and who stays low. I know Severa is going to try to make that 62 forward as wide as he possibly can in order to block that lane, if you will, but to stop the run. But he's going to have to do something as pit road is now closed, and we're getting ready to come down to 2 to go in stage 2.
Yeah, we should see some moves here probably coming out of this turn here. Those guys are going to try to. Well, Hoffman is just not close enough to Strunk to be able to side draft off of him. if he's going to do anything, he want to lay back a little bit, grab the front bumper of Pattingale, and then slingshot around him. But Pattingale's not snuck up. Well, he's snugging up now, so they might be going to set this up for a pass here.
Yeah, Pattingale was seemingly having trouble closing that distance because, like you said, Chris Rivera has quite a sled on his hands, and right now he is just pulling away from these guys, not giving anybody any kind of opportunity to get any kind of mount any kind of attack on him towards the outside. He's doing everything that he needs to do at this point in order to become our Stage 2 winner, and unfortunately for second, third, and fourth place, it looks like they're just along for the ride, guys.
Yeah, I think Hoffman is dragging his brakes in the corners here to try to get Pattingale to hook up with him, and that's kind of getting Pattingale a little scared. Here goes Strunk on the outside, and Hoffman's going to go with him.
Well, no surprise there that these two were going to work together and that they slingshot past Severa. Now, Pattingale also going to be coming around on the outside. He's going to try to slide that forward in front of Severa. Severa now getting a little bit left, but he might just get the run that he needs to mount a late lap charge. Right now, though, it looks like Ron Strunk has got his car in the perfect position to actually become our Stage 2 winner. Just a matter to see how much Clayton Hoffman's going to resist, if he's going to stay inside or if he's going to try to take that wind off of him a little bit.
There goes
And there's Pattingale to the outside.
Severa's going to push him. It's going to be 3 wide. No, Hoffman's going to jump with him. They need to go to the middle there. Somebody,
Severa's
going to go to the middle.
We're going to have three wide. And nope, not enough. Just a little too late. And that's going to put Clayton Hoffman as our Stage 2 winner. An exciting Stage 2, an exciting end so far to both stages. So far we had cautions about the same place, but Clayton Hoffman now our Stage 2 winner. Robert Pattingale bringing home that second place, and Chris Vera putting himself on the podium in third. That puts Ron Strunk in fourth, Eric Kling fifth, Paul Olson in sixth, Chris Johnson seventh, Frank Flores is going to be in the eighth, Mr. Jacobs in ninth, and Gary Adamson rounds out our top 10 points fan positions. With that said, and our cars coming on around to start their Stage 2 pit stop, so let's go ahead and take a break and get a word from our sponsors.
I used to have to go in to the auto parts store. Pay too much, never find quite what I'm looking for. Now I just go online to Rock Auto and see all the parts my car will ever need. Lower prices, more parts, more brands. It's so easy to find the right parts fast. All the parts your car will ever need. Rock Auto. All the parts your car will ever need. RockAuto.com.
There are moments that surprise and delight the mind and the senses. Introducing Sound Art, the world's first truly customizable, concealed, flat panel art speaker system. A revolutionary combination of incredible sound delivered from your most meaningful pictures. When art and technology intersect, there is a seamless blend of creativity and function.
Come alive in the streetlight, pulling at the stars in the moonlight. Every time I feel you close.
With Sound Art, anyone can print their own artwork or pick from numerous licensed artwork that we have. The possibilities are limitless. Enjoy beautiful and amazing sound throughout your home. The entire surface of your artwork generates incredibly robust sound. Your art never sounded so good.
Welcome back, race fans, one and all. We are here with 2 stages in the books at Talladega. Joining us in the broadcast booth, if it couldn't get any better, we've got Brian Britt. Hey, Brian, welcome, man. Good to see you here tonight. So, what's on your mind here coming into this thing?
Well, I haven't seen a whole lot there, Big Al, but I tell you what, I mean, what I have seen, it's been some great racing. We see a caution has come out here. Not sure exactly why it's come out. I mean, like I said, I just joined these guys here. Glad to be here, though. I mean, man, what's been happening?
Well, I can tell you, it's the Chris Severa show, long and short of it. Severa has a very fast car, and he has wrecked out 2 G&G teammates, almost identical.
Oh, no.
Yeah, almost at the identical moment in the first 2 stages. So that's what's been going on, and he is solely responsible for the 2 cautions outside of the 2 stage cautions. But it's just a racing thing. It's just been a series of unfortunate events, and that's why Mr. Al Koslowski is joining us up here in the booth. He was the actual first recipient of the Chris Severa Award.
Yeah, it's not a fault. It's a racing incident, but it's also a product of these cars. I mean, the tire wear is what I'm gonna guess is getting him a little wobbly on the front end, and the Ford and Chevy bumpers don't match up too well. So when they don't match up, you get somebody's gonna go for a spin.
And I wonder if that's playing into why he just took that trip down pit road just now.
Oh, I know Severa personally, and I'm a teammate of his, and I know what happened to both me and Greg was absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, not intentional whatsoever. I mean, he's not gaining anything to spin out anybody. I mean, he needs dancing partners, and to take out 2 of the faster cars in the field is not going to help him any.
Yeah, and like you said, this is the big thing, because as we're coming down to this third and final stage, I believe we're having about 54 laps of fuel in the cars. Green flag pit stops. That's what we're hoping that we get. With those green flag pit stops, the drivers are going to have to marry up together, at least in packs of 2 or 3, in order to get the draft that they're going to need to get the momentum back, so they don't lose too much time. Lights are off on the pace car, gentlemen, which means we are getting ready to go back green flag racing here. Got a new race leader. Kenny Thompson has actually elected to stay out. He cycled his pits in a little earlier. Going to be interested to see how that throws him off as far as the pit sequence goes. But the pace car now getting ready to drop off.
Yeah, we're going to see if these guys go green all the way. They're going to have to pit again right around about 25, 26 laps. So that might work out for him. I don't know. I think he's kind of done the wrong thing, Kenny has here. He should have went in and got a full tank of fuel and then came back out, because these guys can make 1 stop. He's going to have to make 2 stops.
Yep, now he's actually...
I'm sorry, he's actually on 44 laps on his run here. So, I mean, I'm surprised he's made it this far.
Well, these cars are set, I think it's at 75% fuel, which could also go into play on the incident between Severa and Greg Wyszynski and myself, because the more you burn out this fuel, the lighter that rear end gets. So the front end obviously doesn't rise up.
Looks like Kenny Thompson's got his hands full. Derek Jacobs is actually tucked in behind him. Cars are scattering everywhere, trying to figure out what's going on. He lost his run. It looks like a couple other guys got runs, so that kind of made it a little sporty, but everything seems to be working itself out now. And that's going to put that 48 car, Chris D. Johnson, up, and going to make him our race leader for the first time here tonight. But he's got Ryan Strunk stuck in right behind him, and I don't think Strunk's gonna stay in there too long. I think Strunk's gonna try to get his car tucked out there in the front. He's been being a pusher for a long time, and I don't know if he's gonna be good with that. I think he wants his time to shine.
Seen a lot of big runs here from Paul Olson. He's making his way up. He's in 6th place. He's working his way up to Jacobs right now. Top line starting to form here. Clayton Hoffman in 7th. Making that top line work, and he's got Josh Schaffner right there behind him, along with Andrew Layton.
Now, Josh Hoffner has been up on that high side all night, Brian. He's been trying to make that work, but that top line has not been able to get any traction it hadn't seen up to this point.
That's very interesting to see that, considering I was present on Thursday's race, and that top line looked like it was very strong. Maybe could be on track conditions. I don't know. Clayton Hoffman making some big runs here, side by side with the 77.
Yeah, I think it might have been an issue of numbers, because now that top line is getting itself organized, and they've got 4 cars up there. That seems to be a good number there, being able to make it a little bit more of a interesting line there, but not just quite enough to be able to get the momentum they need to be competitive with that bottom line still.
What they need to do is they need to draft down, like they need to get a lot closer. See, Chris jumped up high to go with that high side because the pushers on the bottom just aren't there. So if he gets, he should be able to clear. Looks like he's going to clear Hoffman and Schaffner. Once he gets those 2 behind him, he'll jump back to the low line and leave that high line alone. But they need to draft a little bit more in the corners. The high side needs to come down a little bit closer to the low line. And then if they come off the turns, they need to go to the right to the wall.
Chris Johnson, though, doing the right thing here. I mean, he seems like he's trying to control both lines. I mean, that's what you want to see at a plate track.
Yeah, he's definitely trying to make sure he carries the most momentum with whichever line has that momentum and not lose his position, which looks like that might be what's going to happen now, unless he can get that top line to reorganize and push him back up to the front. Brian?
One thing we've seen a lot of, just even on Thursday, all week in every car. I mean, you can't push that guy unless you're pushing him square, and you also can't push the pusher. And that's one thing we've seen a lot of. Guys hitting, another guy, where it's a little off kilter, and that could turn someone. I think that could be something we see here. But I mean, Clayton Hoffman has a lot of experience. I would not be surprised to see he's going to be a really good pusher to to Chris Johnson here.
Yeah, absolutely. The key is just being able to get sucked up there enough. And Johnson, no doubt, is probably going to ride his brakes just to suck him in, so that way he can get that push that he needed to push that car around the outside. But that bottom line, once again, still holding up. Even though these guys are kind of bobbing and weaving a little bit, they still have the integrity that they need to keep that top line at bay.
Well, watch that 43 of Paul Olson. I expect he might jump up there in front of Chris Johnson if he can get clear and try to take it right to the lead.
Yeah, and then that would be, an excellent move for the 43 car to do, because I think just maybe one more car on that. Oh, nope, that outside line is freight training, though. It's going to try to come back around. They get so much momentum going around that turn, guys, but then, like I said, it's just stalling. But I tell you what, these guys they're committed to it. They've been on that top line. They've been trying to make it work. No one's abandoned it yet. I mean, it's early. Looks like Johnson and these guys are going to try to figure out what that right recipe is going to be. They got 6 on the top now, as Strunk jumps up, and he's not going to be in front of Johnson. But
yeah, we got Padengale right to the lead there. That's exactly what he wants. He wants to see those guys. The bottom line is so separated, and they check up so much, and that's just not doing anything for the draft here.
Yeah,
it definitely isn't. It definitely, Ryan Strunk, interesting call for him to go to the top there, but looks like it's working out for him. Huge run there. He's going to go back to the lead on that lap there. But wow, got to look at Robert Padengale. I mean, doesn't, not at home in the front very much, but he's definitely holding up to the pressure right now.
Yeah.
Well, this is a very intelligent move for Ryan, because he knows that Chris Johnson, Hoffman, and Schaffner are fast. So if he goes up and he drags them around the bottom line, and then those 4 go to the bottom line, it's smooth sailing from there.
Yeah, congratulations to Padengale for leading that lap and getting those 5 bonus points. But that top line now is actually forming up, and it's looking like it's going to be the line to be in, if you know what I mean. Now it's Padengale in that bottom line, still trying to kind of stay organized, but Johnson's going to do what he's got to do to kind of straddle that fence, if you will, and he's going to get shuffled out, unfortunately, and now Strunk's going to go ahead and take the lead with Kaufman coming along the outside.
Big scary there, as we see Greg Wojcinski up on the top there, and also, Robert Padengale showing a lot of patience, not getting into Chris Johnson there, because considering Johnson, made that move down to the bottom, and such different momentums between the bottom and the top lane.
Yeah, I was just thinking that Pat and Gale had to lift, otherwise he was going to send Johnson on a trip there because he cut his nose right off.
Yeah, definitely not the best thing to do. A little bit of wiggling going on right here. A little bit of an accordion effect happening right here.
Yeah, just these cars, they as they get a little bit of heat in those tires, they do become a little bit of a handful to handle, if you will. So I think that's what you're seeing now. Drivers are just dialing them back in now and trying to get those lines reorganized. But for whatever reason, they just kind of became discombobulated, if you will. But that's not going to stop Strunk. He's still going to keep doing what he's got to do. And now he's got Kaufman behind him. So these two have been working together here for the majority of the race. So I think it's safe to assume.
Oh, he goes Pat and Gale to the high side. If somebody goes with him, he's got a good run. They're going to.
It looks like everyone treating him like he's got the plague right now.
Oh, yeah. He's got COVID.
Unfortunately. But, I mean, what a great race it has been thus far. I mean, that's one thing that has been different, though, that I have noticed between, the Xfinity, the truck, and the next gen. The next gen seems the one to where tire wear does matter a whole lot more.
Oh, it certainly does. We just watched, was that Kenny Thompson? He didn't pit, and he was on old tires, and look what that did to him on that restart.
Hey, if we could, let's go back and ride with Severa and kind of figure out why he is off the pace. I'm not certain if, well, never mind. We'll figure out what had happened, but I just happen to see that he is considerably off the pace a little bit, like some 7 seconds behind that lead pack.
He might have some front end damage. I mean, he did come in contact with 2 rear ends.
That he did, apparently. I'm going to have to watch back before, I joined the commentary booth here to see exactly what happened. Why is Al so mad?
Oh, I'm not mad. It was a racing incident. And if it had been somebody else, I might have assumed it was intentional. But I know Chris Severa would not do that purposely. So,
yeah, looking at their lap times, they're about 3/10 off of what the lead pack is doing right now. He's kind of teamed up right now with Eric Klink, trying to stay right in front of him. Or, Eric Klink trying to stay in front of Severa. And that's one thing you see a lot of the plate tracks, guys trying to stay behind someone. If you have a little bit of damage on that front end, you want to be behind someone. What do you agree, guys?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's the reason why Derek Jacobs is exactly where he's at, because, you don't want to have that car that's got any kind of cosmetic damage out front, because any bit of additional blemish like that is just going to be nothing but a wing. It's going to slow you down. Whereas if that guy's tucked in behind the car in front of him, he's the perfect pusher.
well, we're going to see some pit stops roughly in about 10, 11 laps here. And I'm interested to see, they've got to go in groups of 3 to 4. I mean, that's the only way they're going to be able to win this thing. They can't go by themselves.
Yeah, so it is going to be interesting to see if that entire lead lap does come in together at the same time, or if they're going to break it up. But we've got a mosh of things going on in here, because Kenny Thompson's in that group, and he hasn't pit in a minute. So he's going to be wanting somebody to come with him. So I know that might have a little bit to do with the sequence being off.
And you got to remember, we're 187 miles an hour, and they've got to drop it down to 55 miles an hour. So it's going to be a very interesting pit stop here.
It definitely will be. I mean, I think that's the name of the game here. It's going to be, talking to one another. You're going to see teams, maybe sending private messages to other teams to try to say, hey, we're going this time, or if they don't have that communication, that also could lead to some problems. You mentioned about the speed limit on pit road. I mean, that could end up causing problems if you pit at the last second just because you see someone else pitting. Could you end up speeding? I mean, pit road here, if you make a mistake, it could literally cost your race.
Well, Ryan Strunk is in the lead of this thing. If he doesn't tell Clayton Hoffman, who is right on his bumper, that he's going to pit, he's going to slow down to get into pit road, and Clayton Hoffman is going to rear end him, so there's going to be some communication.
Well, that other Al fellow that comes in here periodically, he has this saying. He says that you drive for show, but you pit for dough. This race, it potentially is going to be won or lost on pit road, because just like Keselowski said, if guys don't get on pit road. Don't get down to speed. You know, how much fuel are you taking? Are you taking tires? These are questions that already have to be figured out, and the crew chiefs know it. But how do the other teams know it? Has it been communicated across there? And you know, and if you just mess up that pit stop, it will cost you your race or the opportunity to win this race.
Yeah, unless you get a caution. I mean, that's really going to be what it's all about. If you get a caution, it could save you for sure. But I mean, do you want to bank on that? I mean, this has been a pretty caution-free race.
Yeah, it has, and it's interesting you said that, Brian, because like some guys are going to long pit it, hoping, anticipating that it could be a late race caution. So, you know, it's just going to be interesting to see how it plays out. But that upside line, though, with Paddingale and Flores up there, you know, it's always been somebody on the outside line so far tonight. I think that's a real good testament of how much these guys will make that work.
Oh, I highly doubt we're going to see any more cautions. The top 10 cars are only a second apart from each other, so I doubt we'll see any cautions.
Someone taking a green flag stop there.
Oh, that's Greg Wychinski. I think he's going to park it.
Yeah, Wychinski finding himself the recipient of that second.
Paddingale, look at him go.
That second.
A little bit of side drafting going on there for Paddingale.
Working that draft. Very good, very good.
And that's one thing you see a lot of guys get a lot of speed from, is using that side draft. But is it too early? Is my question.
At some point, you're gonna have to see. You're gonna have to test it. You're gonna have to trust the guys that are running side by side. And if you cannot ascertain at this point if you're gonna be able to side draft, you know, that will dictate it. You understand what I'm saying?
Well, here's another thing that I don't know if you guys are familiar with. Ryan Strunk is using his fuel up at an enormous amount compared to Clayton Hoffman, Schaffner, and all that, because they're probably 3/4 of a throttle, so they're saving fuel riding behind Strunk. But Strunk's got his foot to the floor.
And also the air resistance. The air resistance he's actually having to deal with. I mean, you know, you see Clayton Hoffman, he's not having to deal with that. Josh Schaffner, he's not having to deal with that. But Strunk is hitting a wall of air and breaking it for everybody behind him.
Yes, that is absolutely true. Even Paddingale is consuming less fuel than our leader right now. So that's probably going to definitely drive his pit stop. It will be one of the key deciding factors on that.
Boy, Paddingale is working that side draft, flawlessly. I mean, if he could just, when he comes off the turns, go to the wall, he would probably skate right around Schaffner easily.
And it's something that you said, Keselowski, a little bit earlier, and that is that outside line will work with side drafting, but you're gonna have to get closer in order to do that, because you see these two guys have been out there with just two cars, and they have not fallen back because they're both coming down, picking up that side draft, and it's pulling them right along the outside.
But you know what that really takes, though, is a lot of trust. That guy on the top side that's willing to go a little bit lower, it takes a lot of trust on that bottom line. Because, I mean, it's so easy to slip up and, you know, take that guy out.
Oh, absolutely. And all it takes is getting a little wobble on that yellow line there at the bottom, and you come right up and just door slam the guy in the middle lane there, and he'll go right into the wall.
And I do believe we are in our window for pit stops. That pit window should be open now.
And we were talking about, you know, Ryan Strunk, you know, sacrificing a lot of fuel economy right now. Also, Robert Pattingale is also sacrificing fuel economy also. I mean, he's definitely, you know, leading that top line, and he's taking the long way around.
Yeah, he certainly is, but he knows he has to pit. The only bad thing for it is if he's on the same amount of laps as Strunk is, him being on the high line, when they go into pit road in the low line, he can't necessarily follow them in.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's going to line himself up, though, you know, get down there lower before it's time for him to go in.
Y'all think that they go down pit road single file? They do not. So, I mean, they still could find their way, but it's just all going to be about that 22 into 27 if they allow them room to get down pit road.
Yeah, he might fall back in line. I mean, he's probably just fishing to see what kind of car he's got right now, which it looks like he's got a really good Tucson Sound Art car right now.
And we do see, another pack, still back here. 36 leading that. Gary Adamson. He's got Chris Rivera, Eric Kling, and Martin Borke right there in tow.
Martin Bork.
Bork, okay.
That backpack, if they were anywhere to stand a chance to get up here to fight for a race win at all, got a little tongue-tied there. Sorry, they're going to have to pit before these lead lap cars are going to pit. I mean, they're going to have, yeah.
And another thing too is they just got to wait for the big one. We're all waiting for the big one.
I don't know if we're going to see a big one. Not like this.
I mean, you think that, Al, but both Al's, but I mean, it still can happen. I mean, I just got done broadcasting the race, and they had 10 laps green. It was a 113 lap race, and they had a caution on lap 111.
Oh boy!
I mean, that is when drivers are going to risk it for the biscuit. Right now, these guys are content it being nose to tail, and they are starting to get just a little bit of separation between them. So I think at this point, guys are starting to try to think, okay, if I'm pitting, who am I pitting with? So Kozlowski, I'll ask you first, Al. Are you taking tires? Or are you taking fuel?
I'm probably taking about 12.9 gallons of fuel, and I'm taking rights only.
Okay, Brian, what about you?
See, I've heard, kind of conflicting stories from a lot of guys that are good at, plate racing. Someone, told me you should take left sides just so you can handle better on, the exit of pit road. Because that's one thing you always got to keep in mind when you just take right sides. It's harder to get off of pit road, and that's precious time that you should really be accounting for.
Yeah, I've never experienced that, and this is a fairly cold track that most of the A Open's been running on all week. So I think I'd roll the dice and do rights only. I mean, I've heard that same theory that left sides are better than right sides, but
well, pros say it. So I mean, but I mean, you could be right. I mean,
it is interesting because just the last time we were at Talladega, we had drivers that were the GP guys actually were only taking left side. So. It's going to be interesting to see what happens, but fortunately, it's going to take them the same amount of time to pick those tires up. Fuel's going to be the long point. That's going to be what's going to take up the longest.
Right. Yeah, the right sides always, I've noticed they spin a little bit more than your left sides because the way this thing is banked, it's such a drastic banking. So the right side has to turn faster in order to keep up with the left side. So they wear out a lot more than the left side.
No, I definitely trust your judgment considering, I mean, heck, your performance on Thursday, you definitely put it on.
All right, looks like Ryan Strunk is still our race leader, and Clayton Hoffman tucked in behind him, and now Josh Schaffner finds himself up into that third place position. Schaffner's actually, he had kind of fallen back in that second pack there in the last two stages, but now he's got himself right where he wants to be, and Chris Johnson is tucked in behind him, securing that fourth place position. And just like that, there's Kenny Thompson. He's riding along fourth and fifth. Derek Jacobs running with us for the first time tonight. It's good to see him running in the top 10, even though his car looks like he's probably made a couple of risky decisions, if you will.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I didn't mean that as a jab at you, Al. I meant you usually are really good at the plate racing.
No, I didn't take it any kind of way. I know. I wanted to point out, if you see Pattengale drop back dramatically, dancing partners, this is why it's so important to stay with the lead pack and to have somebody behind you. We got chatter. It sounds like we're going to pit here this next time by.
Yeah, because you see Flores is even falling back a little bit.
Seems like they're preparing for that. I mean, and this is going to be quite a dramatic thing here when all these guys decide to go down pit road.
It is dramatic. It is one of the most exciting and dramatic times in automobile racing. The green flag pit stop, guys. This is the hardest thing that these guys are going to do here next to driving 200 miles an hour inches apart.
Yeah, because unless you have chat with a teammate or something, you don't know, is your teammate going to go to the wall, which is the low line, or the middle line, or stay close to the track so you don't run into them.
We
These
got
guys don't know where anybody's going. So watch this pit when we come around here off this turn and see how this goes.
green flag pit stops are underway. It looks like Frank Flores is already into the pits right now.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting. I mean, to see. I mean, you think, you know, you can go 3 wide on the racetrack, but you can also go 3 wide going on to pit road. And it can be quite dramatic. You can see some guys even get into each other, but it looks like these guys
Wow, I thought
maybe
they were
going to wait.
fit.
There's Kenny Thompson coming in now. So now we've got 2 guys that are off that cycle with everybody.
themselves.
That's going to be
They
Frank
shot
Flores.
themselves in the foot, guys. They
Kenny
shot
Thompson.
themselves in the foot.
I was wondering what Frank Flores was doing, but hey, you know, that's why we're up here and they're down there. So
Well, we can easily tell what kind of lap times they're going to turn and what kind of speed they're going to turn.
that also in
But it's about 10 miles an hour slower if you don't have a drafting partner here. So
pit green flag pit stops are under the way, guys.
Yeah, I feel like you're right, though, Al. I feel like, you know, it's all, you know, you're shooting yourself in the foot. I really do believe that. I mean, you're going to be 10 mile an hour slower and, you know, that much slower on the lap times. I mean, but here we go. Green flag pit stops
here we go.
underway. Ryan Strunk leading them down. Oh, problems.
Johnson.
It's
A
not
27
in
hooked
the
him.
wall. That is it. Caution is not out. Caution is not out. So that's just one of those unfortunate events for Johnson, as he's going to find himself now beat up just a little bit.
I think
Just
I
a little
mentioned
bit.
this
That's a
before.
lot of
guys. You know, he didn't, the 27 had no idea that Chris Johnson was going to pit, and he was right on his tail, and Chris went to pit and slowed down, checked up just a little bit, and the 27 didn't check up in time and spun him right out.
Man.
So, like I said, those green flag, that everything is going to change once you go down pit road. That's just the nature of the game.
Imagine that, you know, something like that happening, and it does not cause a caution. So I mean, like, that's one of the biggest incidents of the race, and it did not cause a caution. But here comes Paul Olson down pit road along with Derek Jacob.
Oh,
Jacobs into the inside wall.
Yeah, I thought he was going to get a speeding penalty. He came in there and was barely able to roll that horsepower down there, and he was going to come into pit road at about 75 miles an hour, so he was going to get a black flag nonetheless.
Yeah, that's just going to end Johnson's day as we still continue with green flag pit stops, guys. So, like that other Al fella said, you know, you drive for show, but you pit for dough, and that is exactly what we're talking about.
And right now we see Clayton Hoffman and Josh Schaffner at the front of this field right now. 2 tandem drivers now.
And unfortunately, also caught up into that was Ryan Strunk. He actually caught Johnson coming across his nose, which is going to cause some unfavorable damage for that 77 car. So, just like that, 3 cars that were running in the top 5, guys, are potentially out of this thing.
Yeah, so that's why I said there probably won't be any more cautions. We've got 2 cars, Clayton Hoffman and Josh Schaffner, that are 4 seconds in front of a car behind them that has 4 seconds behind them. Ryan Strunk has got no drafting partner whatsoever. I mean, this is going to be the Clayton Hoffman and Josh Schaffner show right now.
I wouldn't discount the thought, though, that a caution still could come out. Just considering, I mean, you never know when it comes to Talladega. This is Talladega, the most unpredictable racetrack on the circuit.
Yeah, this is not a race, gentlemen. This is Talladega. I mean, that is a for real statement for a reason. So, but still, I mean, here we are. We got just 21 laps to go in this thing. We're over halfway through our 3rd and final stage. A lot of guys that were up front now find themselves, you know, unfortunate or just having some misfortune, if you will. Guys that we thought were going to be in the front of this thing in the back. So now we're all spread out. It's just, it's going to be interesting now. It's just, we just got to see what happens. And barring some late race caution, it's just going to be a lap fest.
Well, in Thursday's race, I had that dancing partner that Clayton Hoffman has right now, so you can't have a better dancing partner. Josh Schaffner will definitely, he's really good at pushing, and he's a good driver. So I think it's probably going to end just right where you're seeing it right now. Clayton Hoffman, Josh Schaffner, and probably Paul Olson.
Okay,
Well, I'll tell you what, though, Andrew Layton and Kenny Thompson are starting to make some way here. They're starting to catch up to Ryan Strunk. I think this 3-car tandem here could make something happen here, maybe work their way up.
well, yeah, they're gonna have to figure out where to put Strunk at in that lineup. The 84 car might be the only one of those three that doesn't have any damage. But guys, this is the thing. We still have quite a bit of racing left. I mean, this thing will get bunched up again, and we are not done, and we are not out of the woods on this at all. So.
Yeah, it's the odds of that happening now. I mean, unless there's a caution, are slim to none. Because right now, if you look at the lap times the 2 leaders are running, and compare those to Paul Olson and Ryan Strunk, if they're not identical, Ryan Strunk and Paul Olson are a little bit slower.
They definitely are. You're 100% right. And also, they're racing each other. I mean, you see the 84 up on the top. You know, Andrew Layton racing with Paul Olson right now. So they're slowing each other down. But also, look at the, a little bit further back there. I do believe that's Gary, or Eric Kling and Gary Adamson all racing right there, catching up these guys. The race is getting interesting here for the top 5.
So here's your pack now. Now this pack is going to get together, and they're going to have to sort it out. Now either they're going to run into each other, or they're going to get lined up. Lined up, they're going to tend to be pretty fast.
Well, let me retract my statement about the no wrecks, because I see Severa is pushing some people again here, so we may have a caution.
Well,
You never know with him.
Yeah, like I said, here we go. We got 18 laps to go in this thing. Clayton
All the
Hall
excitement is in the second pack here, guys. I mean, these guys are racing like they're lead pack, and this is, oh my goodness, this is great back here.
Yeah, and they're hitting lap times too that are, pretty close to what the lead pack is doing too.
Yeah, but they're a third of the racetrack behind the leaders. I mean, if they got nose to tail, they might stand a chance to catch the leaders. But they're not wanting to get nose to tail. They want to race each other.
I mean, expect that. You see a pack of a lot of guys versus only 3 people. 3 drivers right now are leading this race.
Well, Pattengale is a lap down.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, 3 drivers leading this race. One of them was a lap down. You're right, completely.
Your third place driver is in this second pack back here.
So this is a fight for third, and it's looking like the fight for third's heating up. Eric Kling moving up to third place with, as you mentioned, Chris Severa pushing him.
Yeah, this is going to get a little bit too close for comfort right here. Kling's going to have to do everything he can to hold on to that. But these guys, like you said, they are racy for a good reason. This is where the race is right now, guys, like you said.
I mean, I definitely believe that Clayton Hoffman and Josh Schaffner, they're probably going to race each other when the end comes. But this is where the race is at. That's for sure.
So this is actually, too, the greatest potential for us to get another late race caution right here.
This second pack is losing about a half a second a lap. I mean, for them to catch the leaders, it's going to be next to impossible. Now, the odds of a caution coming out because of this pack, it's pretty good.
We'll have to wait and see if that comes out, though. I mean, considering, we've seen such clean racing thus far, but Eric Kling on the top with Chris Severa running very good laps here up on the top and doing very well. But Andrew, Layton, he's been almost like concrete down there. Still has kept these guys, a little bit humble.
Yeah, like I said, Layton, this is being one of his first races here with us on the Saturday Night Series. He is doing just that, though. He's been a good anchor and has allowed Chris Severa to actually come around him and Eric Kling to actually take the lead of this pack. Now, these guys are going to get in order. They're going to get in line.
Yeah, well, they're 14 seconds behind Josh Schaffner in second place right now. Let's see if they can close in any of that. They've got 14 laps to go. They have to knock off a second a lap in order to get to that second place car.
Yeah, but more importantly though, it gives them the opportunity now to get nose to tail, so they can increase their chances of actually being around here at the end of this thing. It's the best thing they could have done right now. Looks like Adamson is really hugging that yellow line there. That apron is really not friendly here at Talladega all the time.
No, especially if you're following somebody. I mean, if the guy in front of you goes down on that apron and you can't see that apron, I mean, you go down there, you could turn that car sideways.
Yeah, that's one thing about, racing here at Talladega or Daytona. I mean, and looking out the cockpit of one of these cars, is the visibility is poor. I mean, you're not able to see that yellow line a lot of times. So I mean, you almost have to trust that guy in front of you.
Yeah, that's right. Generally, I like for the guy in front of me to be about 2 meters in, about 3 meters, a meter in, so you can still kind of see that yellow line if you're behind him. But nose to tail racing continues, and it has been a show these guys have put on for us here, as we've got the lead 2 cars that they've got quite a lead, but the rest of these guys are nose to tail, and they're mixing it up. They have been racing for the majority of this thing like it's the last lap, and that has provided us pretty exciting racing, guys.
It truly has. I mean, you see Eric Kling right now hitting a 50.614. I mean, that is faster than those top 2 drivers, but not fast enough to get caught up.
And another thing too is we're fortunate that we still have all of the cars that started this race in it, with the exception of 4 cars. We've lost Chris Johnson, Wachinski, Mullins, and Keselowski. So we haven't had the big one yet, and that's going to give us the opportunity to have some really, really good racing coming down to the end of this.
And is Josh Schaffner just going to stick right there behind Clayton Hoffman too? So I mean, this could be really interesting to see how this thing ends out. Soon to be 11 laps to go. Next lap after that, 10 laps to go. So, that's when the intensity just starts rising there, Al.
Absolutely. Then it'll be time. It's go time at that point. 10 to go at Talladega. Everybody's standing up. We're all excited. This is it. This is for all the marbles. This is what we came for.
That's when the gloves come off. That's when everybody starts bare knuckle boxing out here. Especially when the white flag comes out, it's going to be crazy then.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we'd be remiss if we didn't think we were going to get another caution. There's got to be at least one more late race caution coming for us.
I definitely can't wait to see if Schaffner tries to make a move. Now, the only way Schaffner is going to be able to get around Clayton is if he gets right to his bumper and coming off a turn, he slingshots around him, and Pattengale is going to have to choose. Whoever Pattengale chooses is going to be the lucky recipient.
I won't even comment on that scenario because I've been in that same scenario myself a couple of times, and it is not fortunate,
Oh,
yeah,
it really
a lot of times.
sucks.
I mean, but yeah, definitely, it really does suck. I mean, considering Robert Pattengale could choose the winner of this race, he really could.
Absolutely. Hoffman right now is not feeling too confident. I mean, he's not liking a scenario. I mean, is Schaffner going to be comfortable with second place? Is his car not good enough to get around him? I mean, he's wondering all these things.
You guys are awesome, and I appreciate you guys being up here, but you can't say stuff like that. You can't say Schaffner's going to be comfortable with second place, because then people are going to think
no one's going to be comfortable with second place. Nobody, second place is their first loser.
Yeah, so Schaffner's definitely going to do whatever it takes.
Oh yeah, we're gonna find out here in about 8 laps. He's gonna make it probably the last corner coming off, and he's gonna make his move. He's not gonna make it too early because, I mean, he doesn't know what's gonna go on, but he's gonna take his chance. Right about lap 93, I guess he's gonna try to make a move.
Yeah,
I would say right going around, in 3 and 4 on the last lap. That's when my move would be made.
Yeah, gentlemen, it is still nothing but sporty, like for third place on back. These guys, it's just an opportunity, and I'm just waiting on it to occur.
Oh, the 23 gets down on the apron, almost, or 22, I should say. Andrew Lake, side-by-side racing going on back here in this other pack.
Yep, Paul Olsen actually having to check up and there, get to the inside. with that 43 car there, as looks like the 22 car kind of got a little bit out of sorts, if you will. So now these guys are really kind of broken up a little bit more than they were, which is going to cause them to be a little bit slower even.
Yeah, they definitely do not have a chance to catch these guys anymore. All they need a caution, and they're acting like they want to make a caution happen.
Well, you know, first and second is up here, and we're talking about is Schaffner going to go around Clayton Hoffman, but we also have a podium position, which is third. So we have all these guys want that third place podium position. So that's where a lot of the action is going to take place, is in that second cap.
It's like almost like they want to talk to us, right? Like,
hey, there's nothing better than talking to you guys.
Yeah, everybody wants an opportunity to talk to Big Al. That's what it is, right?
That's exactly what it is. Everybody wants to talk to Big Al, not Little Al.
We don't turn these 94 laps. Nobody wants to talk to me. We don't turn these 94 laps just to do it. I mean, we want to talk to you guys.
Well, hey, guys, we are 7 to go in this thing, and it is still very racy in the back. As Frank Flores and Kenny Thompson have just been, these two have been going at it harder, I think, than anybody else. But at some point, something's got to give, because like you said, Al, somebody's got to emerge to be our third place finisher.
Yeah, fortunate for us, guys, it looks like we're going to have enough time to broadcast about the leaders here, and then we'll get to that second pack, who's definitely going to find out who's going to be third place out of that.
I'll tell you what I would be doing, though. I'd be saying, hey, I'll cash up you $5 to wreck this car right now.
Well, that would be an A-open thing. These guys are professionals in here. They're not going to do that to each other, and they definitely...
I know.
You don't want to roll the dice. Fourth and fifth is nothing to sneeze at, too. That's some good points. I mean, you don't want to roll the dice and wreck somebody out and hope that you're not going to get involved in it and finish 17th, you know?
Yeah, but
you're definitely right.
And the reality of it is, gentlemen, nobody is going to just finish a race in Talladega side by side. I mean, it just doesn't happen. These guys are going to make it. You got to race for it. It is what it is.
I mean, yeah. You have to pinch them. I mean, a lot of times, people look down on things like that, but you got to do it to win the race. You want to win, you have to do what, other people don't want to do. You know what I mean?
I tell you, the person this thing can't get over soon enough for that has got to be Clayton Hoffman, because right there with Josh Schaffner sitting in his rearview mirror, and he's had Josh Schaffner in his rearview mirror enough to know that is a very unsettling place for him to be. So the end of this thing can't come fast enough for him.
Well, here comes lap cars too. These cars can play a role in this race right now. If they stay high, and if Schaffner really wanted to, he can drift up and catch the rear sniff of their draft, and it might give him enough to slingshot around Hoffman.
Yeah,
Maybe he's even having them thoughts right now. I mean, as he moves up a little bit there, they are catching on that lap traffic. And that is, I do believe, Derek Jacobs, and I'm not sure who the guy in front of him is. It'll be Martin Morton. Now, if those guys are able to stay on his draft from Josh Schaffner, he might be able to utilize those guys. I mean, there's still enough time, I think he has, if they can come into play.
Yeah, that was a perfect opportunity for Schaffner to go 3 wide right there and take that middle of that 3 wide pack. There's absolutely no drag. I mean, he could have easily went around him.
So we go coming to 3 to go in this thing. It is still anybody's race. It is far from over, as we got Clayton Hoffman leading us with Josh Schaffner tucked in right behind him, and behind him, none other than Mr. Pattengill. Later back in the field, it looks like Severa got into Kling just a little bit, made Kling just a little bit loose, but Kling actually able to recover it, and that group continues on without an issue.
Well, you'll watch here in about another half a lap, Schaffner will probably back off a little bit to Hoffman's rear bumper and catch the front bumper of Pattengill in order to set himself. Whoa, Pattengill is dropping back a little bit. That could hurt Schaffner.
Yeah,
That's one thing we've seen a lot, and even on Thursdays. A lot of guys were dragging that brake, to help that guy be able to push him. Could that be something that we see here tonight?
yeah. Well, I can guarantee you that Hoffman's not going to be dragging his brake. He's going to have to put the hammer down. If anything, he's going to be trying to keep Schafter from getting a run on him on the outside, but he's going to definitely want to try to control him as much as he can. As Chris Severus got his nose pushing Eric Kling like he is pushing him on the last lap. Guys, 2 to go. Everyone is on their feet. This is going to turn out to be an exciting finish to what has already been an exciting race.
Eric Kling right now in third place, looking like he's going to be staying right there. Can these guys, manifest the effort?
Wachinski is down on the inside, but caution does not fly.
Yeah, I think Schafter's going to be
That was Adams.
a bridesmaid once again here. Pattengale is dropping back quite a bit, so unless he starts, he's sucking up now. Here we go. Schafter's going to make a move here. Let's see if Hoffman can predict what he's going to do.
Hoffman's going to make that car as wide as he needs to. He's not going to.
He's going to the middle. He's kind of hugging that middle because he knows he's going to go around him.
And one thing you got to consider too, like if these guys all wreck here, the top 2, that means the race for third could be the race for the win. Someone's blowing up on the bottom.
That is Mr. Adamson has blown up. Caution.
There goes Schafter to the outside. Oh, and he's going to cross back down.
Back to the inside.
Might get him here. I think he might have him.
Come on.
That was a photo finish.
Photo finish.
Still
I think that was 100.
Paul Olson's going to get third. Paul Olson's got third.
Eric Kling.
Paul Olson came around Eric Kling and Severa to take third place, guys.
Wow. Great. That was a great, performance there from Paul Olson. I mean, to be able to do that. I mean, wow.
Also,
that was
here
great
tonight, guys. That is going to put it in. Your unofficial race winner looks like it's going to be Clayton Hoffman, and he is going to take Josh Schafter by just that much. Be that photo finish. Paul Olson looks like he's going to pick up that third place finish. Congratulations to Mr. Olson. Eric Kling coming home in fourth with Chris Severa in fifth. Andrew Layton is going to be in sixth with Ron Strunk in seventh. Frank Flores in eighth. Kenny Thompson, ninth. Robert Pattengale rounding out your top 10. Derek Jacobs is coming in as 11th with Mr. Bork coming in 12th. Gary Adamson in 13th. Chris Johnson some 24 laps down in 14th. Greg Wachinski off the track in 15th with Jay Mullins. 16th, Al Koslowski finishing in 17th. Wow, what a finish did we have here tonight. That was
crazy. I mean, that was definitely a crazy finish there. I mean, I don't think we realized how close that was. I mean, it was 8 1,000ths. That was so
that
close.
was super close.
Yeah, absolutely. That was definitely a race for the ages. Looks like we're going to try to get Mr. Hoffman, Schaffner, and Olson here up here in the booth with us if we could actually talk to those guys.
Yeah, Pat Gale kind of laid back and let those guys battle it out. He didn't want to be the deciding factor, which is I commend him for that.
I mean, Josh Schaffner just missing it by that much. If you look at that finish on your screens, ladies and gentlemen, what an exciting race this was for us here. And where are we going next week, guys?
I believe somebody said, is it Martinsville?
Dover,
Delaware, yeah. The Monster Mile. Monster Mile.
definitely going to be a monster. That's for sure.
Oh, it's going to be a great one, boy. You want to stay tuned and watch that one. There's going to be a wreck fest at that place.
I mean, if you thought tire wear didn't matter at Talladega, well, guess what? It matters a whole heck of a lot.
You're definitely not taking rights only at Dover. I'm going to tell you that right now. We're going to try to get a hold of our race winners here shortly. We got radio contact, I think.
All right. Well, I think we're going to, is Mr. Hoffman. Clayton, are you with us?
Yes.
Hey, Clayton, Big Al up here in the booth. Man, what a nail biter, what a barn burner. Congratulations, first off, to you for bringing it home here at the end of that thing. So, what was going through your mind there in that last stage?
The last stage is really just pit stops. There was no yellow, so I went green, and the focus was just making sure I had a good pit stop. Some guys wrecked behind me. I thought a yellow was going to come out, but it didn't. I guess because they were too low. iRacing might have some sort of issue, and I was just able to have a good pit stop. Got out with Schaffner, and then we picked up Robert Pagale, and we were able to just drive away while everyone else was getting organized. So that was really the main difference there.
Well, good, great. I mean, great showing for you here tonight. What kind of preparation did you have going into this week?
Not a whole lot of real preparation. I unfortunately had to work a lot this week, so I kind of worked on a set based off my Daytona set, which I thought was pretty good, and seemed like it worked pretty good here. I I wasn't 100% sure, or I didn't have the most confidence coming into the race because I hadn't done any testing at all this week. But I just knew how good my Daytona car was, and I figured it can't be that bad.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, congratulations on the win. Are you going to plan on being with us here next week for Dover?
Unfortunately, not. I could only do this for this race, but it's still fun. I normally race in the Thursday series, so I'll be trying to get back to that as soon as I can. But unfortunately, Saturdays just don't work in my schedule normally.
Well, congratulations again on the win. Before I let you go, is there anybody you'd like to give a shout out to?
Shout out to Legacy Esports. Got a lot of fast trucks and Road to Pro. We're pretty good in Coke. Haven't had the finishes that we wanted, but there's a lot of guys over there that work really hard, and we're pretty fast, honestly. Um, I got to thank all our sponsors: Reaper Speed Labs, Black Sun Management Champion, uh, Curb Blaster, Reaper Speed Labs. I think I might have actually already said that one. Thanks to you guys for broadcasting this. Thanks to Rock Auto for sponsoring the event, and Tuscan Sound Art for sponsoring this series. Thanks for Kenny for letting me race this week. I wasn't able to make the Thursday night series race. He let me come in here as a one-off.
Well, hey, congratulations to you, sir, once again on your victory. Have a good evening. And for that, we're going to go to our number two finisher, Josh Schaffner. I'm going to throw this one over to you, Brian.
Mr. Josh Schaffner, the corn man himself, 8/1000ths that you were off of Clayton Hoffman there. Are you disappointed?
Yes and no. Still it was a great finish. Obviously, I kind of thought I might have had him there just the way that shook out, and I kind of bait him high and got low, and I thought I kind of timed my draft right. But yeah, I actually wasn't quite sure. I thought I might have had him there before I had to check the timing. But yeah, either way, a good race, and congrats to Clayton. He drove a good race and mistake free, and that's kind of what kind of had us both up there, was just being mistake free all night.
Well, you definitely put together a great finish there. Second place tonight. I mean, the corn man
Listening
can't do
to
any
the
better, I
to the
guess. But a
broadcast,
great
he
job
just
to
got
you, man.
screaming.
Yeah, second place Thursday, second place tonight. Can't complain when you're super speedway racing. That's still pretty good odds to come out of here with 2 second places this week. I'll take it, and yeah, still wish you could have got one more better there tonight. Would have kind of capped it off on being a really good week, but that's okay.
Well, I mean, I would say that, Talladega, kind of like a giant roulette wheel. So, I mean, you did good to get second place out of both, races Thursday and Saturday. But, excellent job to you, man. How are you feeling about Dover?
Yeah, I'm really a track I enjoy racing at. I haven't cranked any laps there, and I'm hoping with work schedule stuff I can make one if not both the races. But that'll all kind of hinge on the weather goes, because we do got to get corn planting underway here sooner and later. Hopefully the weather will cooperate.
Well, as I said, the corn man speaks here. But great job to you tonight, Josh. Always love to see you finish on the podium, man. And who was you out tonight for you?
Yeah, Plenish soybeans on the hood. Got to thank Pioneer Seeds, Smith Farms. Hopefully Tyler's still tuned in there. I know he was watching earlier, and yeah, got to thank G&G Racing for all the teammates there and teamwork, and yeah, Kenny up in the booth, everyone at ISCA and Tucson Sound Art, and everyone that supports the league. Just got to thank all them, and yeah, just and just got to thank our farmers too. That obviously agriculture powers our car, and if you run into some of your farming friends out in the rural community, just make sure you thank them guys for all the hard work they do, and hopefully we can all have a safe planting season here coming up here the next 6-8 weeks.
Yeah, definitely agree with that. Such an important thing you guys do there. I mean, without that, we would not eat. So definitely appreciate that for sure. But on to our third place finisher. I do believe Al Kozlowski has him on the docket here. Paul Olson.
Mr. Paul Olson, let's set a record here. We got a driver going to interview another driver. Mr. Paul Olson, you got a copy?
I sure do.
Paul, what a fantastic finish. I'm proud of you, buddy. I thought I was going to see you up there in first place, though.
Yeah, on that last set of pit stops, I kind of got shuffled out. I was dodging wrecks and instead of pitting with the top group there. Kind of hurt me.
Well, walk us through this race. I mean, it was an up and down thing, mostly down for some of us, but and some of us went around. But how did this race pan out for you?
Pretty good. I think I got second in the first stage and fifth in the second stage. So pretty good night all around.
Well, you did a fantastic job getting up here in third place. What about Dover next week? What are we going to do with that?
Race it if we have to, I guess.
Confidence, baby, confidence.
Things happen so fast at that track. It's one guy gets out of shape and it takes out 10 cars.
Yeah, you're talking about a track half the size of this. I mean, people are going to be. There's going to be a lot of lap traffic and a lot of gambling going on there. So it's going to be a rough one. But I think we're going to be on a podium next week too. I think I'm going to see you here again.
I don't think so, but
confidence, baby,
anyway.
Confidence.
Well, I would like to thank my teammates. They helped me out more than you'll ever know with this race.
Yeah, teammates are good. Teammates are really good.
Yeah, they definitely helped me get me here. Yeah.
Is this your first podium up here at ISCA, Paul?
Yes, it is.
Well, man, you need to let's get some sponsors. Let's hear about some sponsors we got on that car tonight.
Well, I'd like to thank J&G, of course. Great teammates, great setups. I'd like to thank my spotter, Greg Wachinski. And I'd like to thank Kenny. And usually I like to thank Rob, but he's not here this week, and I hope all is well with him.
Yeah, most definitely. We want to send our wishes out to Rob. He has some medical family issues there, and I hope everything's getting a whole lot better because we do miss him. So, well, Paul, congratulations on a third place finish. Very good job. I was hoping for a caution so you can get back up and tighten this field up and go and challenge for a win. But hey, third place is nothing to be disappointed about.
Thanks.
Well, that's about all we got, buddy. We're going to wait for Dover next week and see what happens with us.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to the Rock Auto 250. I'm your host, Al Nixon, and special thanks to Brian Britt and Al Kozlowski in the booth. Also, additional support from Kenny Powell for running the slides for us and the production. It's been an awesome time serving you guys here tonight, and we cannot wait to see you next Saturday night at Dover. Until then, enjoy your evening, and thank you again for watching.